So, for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm probably what you would label as a borderline casual anime fan. I'm not really the type of guy to just watch every single anime series that comes out every season just because. I just like to pop in, see what's showing this season, and then pick maybe 1 or 2 or 3 different series and just see where they go from there. It's not that I don't like anime as a whole. On the contrary, I actually really love a lot of anime. It's just that nowadays I don't really have a lot of time to commit to 30 different anime and see where they go. That being said, I decided to have a little fun with this and share my first impressions of the spring anime of 2020. Bear in mind, the season hasn't even started yet, and I'm just giving my first impressions based off those little blurbs that we get right before the season starts. So keep in mind that my opinions on a lot of these are probably going to be wholly inaccurate, and it's probably going to piss up a lot of people who have actually watched or followed these series. That being said, please take what I say with a grain of salt with this one. Oh, and for the record, I'll be doing this in alphabetical order. So without further ado, let's see what we got. Okay, we're starting off strong with this one. Okay, so first impressions, I actually think it's really cool that this one seems to be set in America. I mean, it says that they're gonna be crossing through the Wild West and until Los Angeles and finish in New York. So already that piques my interest. I can definitely see this as being a really cool action-y road trip kind of anime. And it is done by PA Works, so relatively good news. I'm pretty on the fence about their type of work, but right now, just on the art style alone, this one seems to be really dynamic, diverse, and I actually may give this a casual viewing, maybe. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Is Argon Navis an actual type of band that this anime is based off of? I mean, all things considered, it seems like a fairly generic boy band anime, and I'm most likely not gonna go for it. I mean, if it's pretty good, so be it, but it's not really for me. Okay, now this definitely captures my interest. I'm not typically into the whole historical Renaissance era type of anime, but this one seems to be very human-centric. I mean, we got this one girl who wants to become an artist, and that totally jives with me, I'm just saying. And just based off the description alone, it definitely feels like it's gonna be a very feminist type of anime, which is always a plus for me. And, I mean, looking at the art style, it definitely seems very vibrant, the colors are very warm, the character designs are very natural, I guess. But otherwise, I'm actually think this is gonna be really good, and I'm seriously considering watching this one. God damn, these first few animes are really good. Now this one, I feel like this one is definitely coasting off the success of Beastars, which was very good, mind you, but the idea of animal humans is already a very interesting story from a fantasy world perspective. And, I mean, it's Trigger. Look at those designs. It's exactly what I would expect from them. And based off the description alone, this definitely feels like it's going to be very focused on these two characters with a lot of chemistry. And, honestly, I'm actually going to give this one a first go showing. No questions asked. I don't know what to make of this one. I mean, based off the description, it feels like a first-person type of anime, like an Otome game or something like that. And honestly, I'm not that interested in seeing an anime about historical writers. It just seems very bare bones, and that's all I can say about it. Never actually seen the main series that this is based off of. Seems like your very typical card fighting shonen anime type deal. So, meh, I think I'm gonna skip this one. Yeah, to be honest, I was not a Digimon fan growing up. I'm sure it's a lot of fun, but it was just one of those series that I never really got into. Seeing as you probably need an understanding of the series to really get into it, this one's gonna be a pass for me. Yeah, same deal with this one. I know that Fruits Basket is pretty much the god tier when it comes to shoujo romance series, but I never seen the previous seasons, so unfortunately this one is a no-go. Okay, our first mystery anime of the season. Looking at this right now, it definitely feels like it's going to be a very Sherlock Holmes, Watson type of detective series where we have two diametrically different personalities coming together and somehow forming a strong partnership. And I'm always up for a good mystery, just following around them, seeing the clues and solving crimes and whatnot. Though honestly, I'm still on the fence of this one just because I can't really get a sense of like what type of growth that these characters are going to go through. And honestly, the whole crime solving detective series is kind of played out, so we'll see. Wait, is this the anime that's supposed to be airing on Netflix, or am I mixing that up with something else? Anyway, this one seems like a kind of unique comedy. I mean, it includes a dinosaur, which is unheard of, at least for me. And the character looks pretty cute, and being a Gairu is always an interesting idea as a main character. I definitely like the design of the characters though, but that upshot on the promo image is kind of disconcerting. So, who knows? I have no idea what the fuck this one is. It seems like another idol anime, only this time it looks like it's gonna star elementary school girls, which I have reservations on idol anime and the industry as a whole, so not for me. Now this one looks pretty wild, and not necessarily in a good way. I mean, looking at the description, it definitely sells itself as being a kind of angsty story of a guy who has body issues transforming into a huge beast and then saving the girl, so it definitely feels like a power fantasy in that regard. I mean, the tags are kind of all over the place. It's a comedy, drama, ecchi, romance, sci-fi, action. Art-wise, it definitely seems unique, and I really like how, well, actually, I really don't know if I'm gonna watch this one, just be honest, based off those reasons alone. Okay, yeah, this one is definitely based off a light novel, I can tell. I mean, it definitely seems to be a very well thought out fantasy series with a lot of nuance, characterization, and a strong emotional core. So, based off that alone, I can definitely see this actually being kind of a masterpiece. I mean, I have no idea how good the source material of this is, but based off what I'm seeing from the cover art and this description, it definitely feels like something that I'm sure a lot of people would be hyped over. Okay, I'm starting to see this trend lately of Japanese anime taking a page off of what the West is doing in rebooting every old-ass property they can get their hands on. I mean, we've already had a very good reboot of Osamatsu-san, so I can definitely see this. Well, it doesn't seem like a reboot exactly, it feels more like a sequel, so that definitely has that going for it. The art style is a very cutesy, cartoony type of aesthetic, which me personally, I am a fan of. Though beyond that, I can't necessarily say that this is something that I am desperately wanting to see. So, there's that. Ah shit, this is the sequel to the Bookworm anime, isn't it? I've heard really good things about this series in particular, and unfortunately, this was not something that I was able to start off. So, as much as I would love to get into this series, I unfortunately can't because I haven't seen the first one. I'm sorry. Well, would you look at that, we've got our first cute girls doing cute things of the season. To be honest, I'm kinda over this whole genre, just on principle alone. I know that's kind of hypocritical of me, seeing that as I'm a fan of Watamote. But yeah, it just seems like another cute girls doing cute things with your typical gimmick of, oh, it's cute girls doing cute things, except it's race cars, or it's derbies, or it's eating food from another world, or some shit like that. So yeah, it seems very moe just from the art style alone, and I don't necessarily hate that as an aesthetic on its own. It's just based off what this contributes to as an anime. I can't really say that I'm super hyped to watch it. Yeah, I haven't seen the first idol anime of this one, and to be frank, I'm probably not gonna watch this one either. Same deal with this one. It's a sequel to what seems to be just another comedy, ecchi anime series with questionable content, so nah. Yes, yes, yes! No questions asked, I am definitely watching this one. I love Kaguya-sama, Love is War. This is something that I picked up a couple years back, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I love the characters, I love the humor, I love the romance, and I love the mind games. I just love everything about this series. I know I'm just gushing at this point, not really giving a fair reason for why I love it so much, but fuck it. I am definitely gonna watch this one. Okay, not gonna lie, I'm kind of a sucker for this kind of shit. I love these stories of a father-daughter just bonding together in a completely platonic way, just pointing that out there. But yeah, I mean, the guy is an artist who draws vulgar manga, and that's definitely something that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. And so it definitely feels like it's just gonna be a very low-key, slice-of-life, feel-good story about these two characters. I want to say it's gonna be a very wholesome thing to watch, though I can't necessarily say that with any guarantee. But you know what, I definitely think I'm gonna at least give this one a first attempt. I've heard really good things about this series. I really don't know anything about it, but based off the description, it definitely feels like a really cool action adventure anime. I know I'm just reading off the tags right now, but it definitely feels like there's a lot going for it. The premise seems pretty unique, where it's a guy who's trapped in a tower, and then he's just fighting off all these people within them. So, yeah, like I said, I can't really say anything in depth about it because I don't know anything about it. I'm just going off of what I've heard. I've heard very good things about this one, so who knows? I might give this one a first attempt. We'll see. I have no clue on what to make of this one. I actually don't follow the Kingdom series at all, so I have no clue if this one is going to be good or bad or whatever. But seeing that this seems to be a sequel to a sequel, this is very likely a no for me. Same old, haven't seen the series, looks pretty good, can't really comment on it, so pass. So, honestly, I really don't know what to make of this one. It seems like your fairly standard detective series based off actual detectives, from what it looks like. It involves two guys who investigate ghost appearances, apparently. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what exactly this one makes it stand out from the mystery pack. So, probably not. Oh boy, where to start with this one? If it wasn't already obvious, I'm not usually into music anime. Not because I hate the genre, it's just not for me. That's pretty much it. But holy cow, based off what I'm reading, this one has the makings of a really good anime series. I mean, for one, it's an original. And then two, the art style is very unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it before. And hello, it's combining mecha with music? I have never heard of something like that, and just off the premise alone, it just feels really refreshing. So yeah, even though I probably won't be watching this one, I can probably recognize that this one will likely be a very good series. This is straight up personal bias, but I'm not really crazy about sports anime, and given that this one is a sequel to one, this one is a no for me. Sorry. Now, this one looks like a kids anime based off my first impressions alone. It definitely feels like it starts off as your typical cute anime familiar comes to Earth and makes a girl a magical girl. So there's that. I mean, it changes things up a little bit by having them enter dreams, so that's pretty neat. But other than that, it seems pretty gimmicky, and nah. Oh man, just reading off this description, it really feels like it's gonna be a harsh reality for our main character. And based off that, I'm not sure how much of that I can take, but I mean, it has comedy, drama, and romance in its tags, so there's definitely that going for it. And it does end off saying that they enter the world of radio, which is pretty neat, but as I said, keeping it real has its ups and downs, and personally, I can appreciate it going in that direction, and I think it's going to be very good for that reason, but just me personally alone, it might just end up being, who knows, a little much. Alright, so, I have not watched No Guns Life, and so honestly, I can't really say whether or not this is going to be good. I mean, it's Madhouse, and they make some god-tier works, as anybody in the anime community can tell you. So, yeah, really have no idea what to make of this one, so I'm honestly probably not gonna go for it. Alright, so here's the deal. I can appreciate that based off what I'm seeing, this looks like to be a very wholesome kids anime with a very simple premise and very simple characters. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Those types of stories can actually be really good. It's just that for me, it's not really something that appeals to me personally. So even though I'm not gonna watch it, I can appreciate that something like this will probably be good for its own merits. Let's leave it at that. Now, this is something that I have honestly been meaning to get to. I know that this is pretty much the staple for this new trend of villainous otome game series, and it's definitely right up my alley. I mean, it has comedy, romance, it has a strong female lead character, at least that's my assumption. But yeah, based on what I've seen of this so far, I've honestly been meaning to read this one, and so I am definitely going to watch the anime of this when it comes out. I don't know about this one, man. I mean, it seems like your very typical isekai anime. A guy enters another world and there's these cute girls who give him lots of attention and give him lots of food as its gimmick for this type of story. And so, it definitely seems a little more tasteful than I'm expecting. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's gonna be much substance to this series, just to be honest. But yeah, if it's good, it's good. Who knows? God damn it, I still gotta finish this one, okay? I only made it halfway through ReZero, and I've been meaning to finish it. It's just a lot of stuff just got into my life, and yeah, I really need to finish this one just because I really, really like it. I know I shit a lot on the isekai genre as a whole, but even those who don't like it seem to recognize that this is a very good deconstruction of that. The characters are very well written, the female leads are also phenomenal, and yeah, it just has so much emotional depth to it thus far, and I know it just gets a whole lot worse as it goes on, and oh boy, I just really need to finish this series first so I can actually get into the second series. Because I honestly really want to see where this goes. Yeah, I can't say I'm super hyped about this one. I've seen a lot of these types of stories where they take a gimmick, like say technology from the human world and put it into a fantasy world, and they use that as the basis for the adventures that the characters go on. But other than that, it just seems very shallow, and I'm not really sure if there's gonna be much to it other than that. So, yeah. Whew, boy, that is a mouthful of a description, and I've read this over like a few dozen times, and I'm still having a little trouble understanding what exactly this is about. I mean, the premise itself does seem very grand, and it feels like something that's going to have a lot of strong action, adventure, some strong characters based on the parts that I could understand, and the design itself, I mean, based from this promo art, is nothing too outstanding, but it gets the job done. So, yeah, and oh wait, this is also a sequel. Okay, so yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it after that, and given the fact that it's a sequel, it feels like it's going to be something very good if you really got deep into the series, but yeah, because of that reason, it's probably not for me. So, okay, look, here's the deal. There's nothing inherently wrong with what the story seems to be about. It's just that there's nothing really that makes it stand out either. It feels like your very basic adventure fantasy story where this young hero has a mission to accomplish and he goes through these fantastical places in order to accomplish it, and he ends up learning about himself in the process, and that's really all there is to it, which isn't a bad thing, mind you. It's just that there really needs to be something extra there just to make it set out from the rest of its kind. I know that doesn't sound really fair, but that's honestly my personal assessment of it. So, it's fine. Oh boy, Shokugeki no Soma. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those series that I started watching at the start. I mean, it's pretty much iconic at this point for being the best food anime or series there is, and it's one of the few that actually gets ecchi right, at least in my opinion. But unfortunately, I've heard some things off the grapevine where the series has taken kind of a nosedive, to be honest. I have no idea why exactly, other than the fact that it involves some kind of kidnapping plot or something afterwards. So yeah, I'm probably not going to go into this series just because I don't want to be faced with that kind of disappointment, knowing that something as great as this probably is not as great as it could have been. So yeah, unfortunate pass on this one. Shit anime. Moving on. Okay, I'm getting mixed feelings about this one. I mean, based off the premise alone, it's a sports anime with a very solid foundation. It involves a girl who wants to be in a baseball tournament, and she has to come up with a new team, and from there, it's basically your straightforward coming of age story. And the thing is, that all sounds fine and great, and looking at this promo art, it features a lot of beautiful girls who are actually pretty diverse in terms of body types, which is a rarity, at least from what I've seen so far. And at the same time, I'm worried that it's gonna include a lot of gratuitous fan service that doesn't really add anything to the story. I know that's kind of a early assumption right now, but yeah, so far it looks pretty good, and I'm just hoping that my expectations of that are solid. I'm a real, I'm not really feeling this one. It feels like your very straightforward action, adventure, mecha sci-fi series that seems very run-of-the-mill. I mean, I could be wrong, but the description is very minor, which does not bode well, so, pass. Okay, I had to look at the first season synopsis for this one, but the thing is, I'm not even sure what direction the series is going for. It seems a little too action-packed to be a slice of life. I mean, from what I understand, it's basically this guy and these supernatural beings who, all things considered, want to fuck him. At least, that's what I think it boils down to. But yeah, I'm not sure there's some kind of end goal for this dude, because it seems like it's just him and all of these beautiful girls just going to crazy shenanigans. I don't think it's as action-packed as it would like to be, but yeah, I really don't know where the series wants to go or what it wants to be, so that's a no. Yeah, a no. Now this series on the forefront looks like a moe shit series, as Tomoko Kuroki would say, but all things considered, it actually looks like these characters are very earnest and three-dimensional and just feel like regular people. I mean, it looks like they're just three sisters living at home who have faced a bunch of hardships and how they maneuver through life. And it's a very simple and straightforward premise, but it's also a very strong premise. So it looks a little, I don't want to say questionable, just generic, but at the same time, maybe it's actually pretty good. I don't know. I mean, it's a sequel, so it could be good. Yeah, could be good. You know, I'm honestly really surprised that Origairu is actually getting a third season after all this time. Watamote, where are you? But yeah, this series is iconic for sure. It plays itself up to be a standard rom-com, but those of you who have watched the older series know that it's anything but. It's actually a really good deconstruction of how teenage romance and relationships in general really work out. And I mean, H-Man, our main fish-eyed guy, is pretty famous in starting this trend of emo main characters. But yeah, I remember watching the series way back, and I really enjoyed it. And so I'm actually really interested to see where these characters are going from here. I know the main two lead girls, who both names start with a Y for some reason, had a lot of personal baggage going through, and then they had that freshman girl who was pretty cute. So I'm really excited to see where the series is gonna take its original premise. It's also premiering on my birthday, so like, yeah, I definitely have to watch it now. Yeah. Also, that one teacher is a MILF. So, my first impressions of this one is that it's edgy millennial the anime. There's not really much to go off of based on the summary, but it seems pretty high concept, just because there isn't really a straightforward goal that the characters seem to be pursuing. It's just this one chick who can't find employment after college, and this girl with a crow, and her university classmates. So I have no idea what it's setting itself up to be. I mean, it has romance and drama and slice of life as its tags, so it seems like it's gonna be a pretty realistic portrayal of how young college students are these days. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I can definitely connect to that. So, who knows? Maybe I'll watch it. And last but not least, we have the newest incarnation of Yu-Gi-Oh! I did not actually watch Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid, except for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I thought that was really funny and a lot of fun. But yeah, since I'm not exactly that well versed in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, this isn't really something that I'm really looking to get back into. But I mean, it's lasted this long as a franchise for a reason, so if it's great, I say all the more power to you. Alright, that was my totally inaccurate first impressions of the spring 2020 anime season. Honestly, there was a whole lot of anime that really appealed to me more than I was expecting, so god damn it, looks like I'm gonna have to squeeze in some more time to watch all that good shit. But yeah, if you want to see me give more seasonal first impressions in the future, just let me know in the comments, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks guys!